2, 1. Hold on. Oh, Jesus, God, look at you all taking a deep breath.
Yeah.
It's your show.
Welcome to Movie Obscura with Adrian and Kelly. I am Adrian.
Hey, and I'm Kelly.
And this week we are going to discuss, I'm going to get this title right for the first time, Hell Goes to Frogtown.
It's Hell Comes to Frogtown.
I still got it wrong.
That's okay. I said it wrong all last week when we were promoting
This
it.
movie was made in 1988. It was directed by Donald G. Jackson. And,
This guy has made some of the shittiest movies. There's one, there's Rollerblade, Ghost Taxi's another movie of his, Naked Avenger.
Naked Avenger.
It's a title of one of the movies.
You know what we should do? We should do a Donald Jackson block like we did.
Oh my God! I don't know if I could stomach watching these movies. If they're anything like this one, but the titles just progressively get worse.
And there's actually a few sequels to Hell Comes to Frogtown, and one of them is Frogtown 2.
Right, and this one's the frickin' frog, the Commander Frog. God, I can't remember what his name was.
The Commander Frog?
Captain Toady or something.
Yeah.
He, in this one, I guess he has a serum. Oh, now I just blanked on the whole premise of this movie. A serum that will transform humans into frogs. So he's trying to turn the whole world into frogs.
Okay, and then you got Max Hell, Frog Warrior.
Right,
and
these are kind of spin-offs.
Yes, and then Max Hell, Frog Warrior 2.
Which I'm assuming, yeah, and these are recently, the first one, Max Hell, Frog Warrior, 2002. And then last year they made Max Hell, Frog Warrior 2.
And this movie this first one was made in 1988.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper, the wrestling icon, the late Roddy Piper, was the star of this movie. And I'll tell you what, now I've seen Roddy Piper in different movies. I've seen him in a movie that was called Body Slam. Now that movie had different wrestlers in it. It had the Tonga Kid. It had Captain Lou Albano. It had the Barbarian, and it had Killer Khan, I believe. And that was a wrestling movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then I also seen him in John Carpenter's They Live, which is a cult classic.
Right.
And that was made at the same time in 1988. John Carpenter, They Live was made in 1988.
Really?
This, and we're going to talk more about these.
A hell of a career there at the late 80s.
We are going to talk more about these movies on our next podcast where we do top 10 movies that have wrestlers in it.
With wrestlers, not starring wrestlers, they got movies.
Because here's 1988. Roddy Piper retired from wrestling. It was right after WrestleMania 3.
Okay.
He was going to make movies. So obviously he made They Live and Hell Comes to Frogtown, or Hell Goes to Frogtown.
Nope, you had it right the first time.
Hell Comes to Frogtown in those years that he was retired. So this movie was about, his name is Sam Hill, and it's a post-apocalyptic world because the nukes pretty much just leveled the entire Earth.
And this is after the nuclear wars and everything, and they're trying to rebuild. And
there's a little narrative in the beginning. They said that thought there would be one or two nukes, and then they would come to a peace treaty. They were wrong. Everybody just nuked everybody.
Right.
The Sam Hill, he's in jail for a rape. He raped one of the commanders in this war against these mutation frogs.
Yeah.
He raped the daughter, even though it wasn't rape. It was consensual after she found out she was pregnant.
Right.
So he's wrongfully accused on that.
Which then keys into the fact that he's one of the very few fertile males in this post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah, left. So they want to, repopulate the world, and he's one of the only guys that can do it.
Right. So
history precedes himself because, as we're going to get further into this, everybody wants to jump his bones.
Oh, he's like the most desirable man in the world.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he just looked like an average Joe.
Right. He's let himself go from his wrestling days.
Yes, he has.
It's only been, a year?
Yeah, no kidding. So this girl named Spangle.
She works for MedTech.
MedTech, and she's the one that's going to get him to this reservation where the frogs have these 5 ladies captive.
So the mutated frogs are basically the Indians. You know,
Yeah.
because the government has given them plots of lands to settle in.
And that's the thing, because and we were discussing this, we were questioning, are these frogs mutated, or are they humans that turn into frogs?
I had asked you that. Were they mutated frogs that became human, or were they humans that mutated into frogs?
And, they say that in a nuclear war, the only 2 things that are going to survive is ramen noodles and cockroaches. Well, apparently frogs survived this nuclear war, and the radiation from these nukes turned these frogs into mutated frogs, basically.
Right.
That can speak English,
like
that knew English,
Ninja Turtles.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what they are.
Yeah, the secret of the ooze.
The secret of the ooze.
So he is now out, and Spangle.
Oh, what they're doing is they're going to Frogtown to rescue like 4 or 5 fertile women
And impregnate them.
and impregnate
And he's
them.
going to impregnate
But
them.
They were kidnapped or stolen by whatever Frog Commander, whatever Bull for his harem.
Yes.
And we'll get into Bull in a bit.
Yes. So now there's a girl named Spangle,
Right.
and she also starred in Conan the Barbarian.
Right.
She was the blonde. Her name was Valeria.
Yes.
In Conan the Barbarian.
His love interest in that movie.
Yes, Arnold Schwarzenegger's love interest.
She was badass in that flick.
She was great in that movie. And then there's also a girl named
Centelli?
Yeah, you said it the first time. You said it right before.
Sentinella.
Sentinella. She was a badass.
She's hot.
And
she's Michelle Rodriguez hot.
And she was going to be kind of like their backup, kind of like their security.
Their security, exactly. That's what she is. She's part of the military.
Yeah, they've got this.
This whole world is ruled by women now. Men are second class. It's basically going back to the 30s, 40s, and 50s where men were always in power. Now it's women have taken over.
Because they're treated like queens because they're the only ones that can repopulate the world.
Exactly.
And so that's why he's going to go get these girls. And they go through the reservation. Now,
Are we just going to completely just gloss over the fact that they put a high-tech chastity belt on them?
Well, the government issued.
And it even says property of the provisional government.
Think of this as a ankle bracelet where it will beep off if you go out of your boundaries. If he tries to take off,
it's packed with explosives too.
Yes,
and it's all tied to proximity sensors in Spangle's earring.
Yes.
So if he gets out of proximity of her, it'll beep. It'll give him time to try to get back into the proximity, or it goes off and blows his junk off.
But it's almost like an invisible fence, because if she touches the other earring, it zaps him right in the crotch area.
And he's like, "How do I take a leak or do my job?" There's a flap.
Yeah.
Come on.
And it's property of the U.S. government. Yeah. So I forgot about that. Now, of course, before then, Spangle tries to seduce Sam
on their way to the reservation,
to make sure the tool is operable.
Right. And this is, because Sentinella tries to sleep with him too, like the same night after Spangle.
See, I don't get this though.
Private, you're out of uniform.
Yeah, you're Corporal. Corporal, you're out of uniform. But here's the part I don't get. She tried to seduce him, yet she just went up and left. I thought that they were going to go the full Monty on this.
I'm not sure.
But she just walked up and left.
None of this movie really makes any sense.
No, it doesn't. And the acting was pretty horrible. It was.
But I mean,
bunch of cheesy
based
lines.
on the titles from this Donald guy that directed it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Now they do find one woman out in the field. She escaped.
Right.
She was fertile. They said, "We got a live one here."
Spangle runs a test, finds out she's fertile. So Max,
Sam.
Or Sam, he has to do his job because he has a contract that he must impregnate the fertile women.
Yes.
And so she's laying on the ground. Spangle injects her with, I don't know, Spanish fly. And gets this girl all hot and bothered. And then she wants Sam to just get busy.
You're right.
And she's sitting there with a clipboard or something, like 2 feet away from him.
Yeah, they're taking notes and something like that.
Notes.
Well, she's kind of dirty. She didn't even wash up. We haven't even met. We haven't even gone on our first date. So I don't know. Yeah, he's not really into this. But anyways, it ends up happening, and they go to the reservation. Now they meet up with Leroy. I think his name was Leroy or Jacob, one of the private of the Frogmen, who was acting like the big cheese when in fact Bull.
The cat that's they meet up with Commander Toady.
Was that the Commander Toady?
No, they meet up with the guy in the white suit. The frog
that was Leroy or Jacob,
or whatever his name was. Yeah.
And see, Spangle dresses up as a slave, and he was going to do a trade-off.
Right. That's how they get into Frogtown.
Right. So, and we find out that he's an imposter. It wasn't the big cheese.
Right.
Bull was the big cheese, and he takes her for 5. Their currency in Frogtown
Lily pads.
was lily pads. 5 lily pads for this. Yeah, and then we meet one of Sam's old friends when he during the war he took care of Sam.
Right.
And he was a miner.
Yeah,
he was mining uranium.
Because the Frogtown was rich with uranium.
Yeah, let's talk about Frogtown for a little bit. It looked like a mining company, but it looked like the war took its toll on this city. It was like an industrial city.
And when the frog people were corralled into these reservations, they just made that as their base camp or their home and called it Frogtown. You go into that, the bar that they went into, and you got that frickin' lady frog basically doing a striptease on top of the bar. It's just ridiculous.
And then
these outfits, or the makeup and the costumes for the frogs are just. I don't know if they were actual people inside these costumes or if they were Jim Henson type Muppets, operated by a few people, but it was weird.
Well, these and even the frog lady wanted to jump Sam.
Right, that's right.
She's like, that's put a bag. You wanted the bag over her
head.
head.
A piece of Sam Hill.
Yes. So he gets these and he ends up. This Spangle is actually very good in martial arts. She knows how to protect herself, so she gets out of that area. Now, while Sam is trying to corral the other women into getting them safe, she has to do what's called the dance
of the 3 snakes. Now this
for Bull,
because he wants her. He purchased her, and now she's his property, part of his harem.
Yep. Which
the other gals were part of. Gals.
Yeah.
So she's got to do the dance of the 3 snakes to arouse him. Now, without going into too much detail, what 3 snakes were she dancing for? Because it's freaking underneath his little dress uniform thingy, it started moving in 3 different spots. It was creepy as hell.
Yes, and she's like, hell no.
Yeah, I am aroused.
Yes, yes. That's exactly what he did. And
come here. I'm not getting near those things.
Yes.
It just
so
me up.
And she gets out of that, and
they get the girls. They get in that badass MedTech truck.
Yes.
I love that truck.
Yes, it was pink, but it was badass.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
They end up getting the girls out of there. The old guy ends up dying, though.
Right.
Because he held them back while they got out.
Right.
He held them off.
He held them off while they,
And he ends up. Now they end up. Now Spangle and Sam. I think they end up together.
I believe so.
But he still has to
get the because they end up together, but he still has to go back to MedTech and fulfill his contract.
Okay, all right. So let's do the rating.
I got no budget or anything for this movie.
I don't either.
I couldn't find any information about monetary things with this flick, but this flick was so It's a great, cheesy, midnight, up all night with Rhonda Shear.
There you go.
U.S. Network type movie.
There you go. Now there is some nudity in there, so they won't be able to show that.
Right. There's not a lot.
No, you do see Centella's breast.
Oh God, she is such a hottie.
But I don't think you see anybody else's.
She was Centelli was contractually obligated to be topless in the movie, whereas Spangle, who is played by Sadal Bergman, she said absolutely not, because it was initially in the Dance of the Three Snakes. It was written that she was going to be nude, but she absolutely said no. So they had to revamp it and put her in that ugly ass white gown,
which I find kind of amusing, since she was naked in Conan the Barbarian.
She was very weird. Angela from Who's the Boss? She was that kind of 80s hot.
Yeah.
You know, whereas in today's
Miriam Bassett Burney,
a 5. You know, and today,
yeah.
But rated back then, she was a 9.
Well, I was like,
she looked better in Conan the Barbarian than she did in this.
And like I said, she was nude in that.
Yeah, I guess you did see
it. Was that, and that was before '88, I believe.
Right, that was early '80s.
Yes.
I don't remember exactly when that, but Conan the Barbarian.
James Earl Jones still had long black hair, so you can tell
so this movie was so.
Let's do electronic chastity belts.
You want to do that for the rating?
Yes.
Electronic chastity belts. Two electronic chastity belts. This movie was not well written, not well directed, barely had a story to it. It was acted piss poorly.
I will say this now. I know everybody knows
it was a sci-fi comedy action movie, and they tried to get all the genres mixed in with one another, and it just fell apart.
I will say this. Yeah, it was. I am a huge Roddy Piper fan.
Right.
And
wrestling.
I'm a big wrestling fan. I love Roddy Piper, but I've seen him in different movies, better well written, better directed, better acting. I only gave this 1 star. One electronic chastity belt. Because this movie, you know what? It wasn't even a good plot line.
No. Like we said, the story wasn't there.
No.
But it would make one of those good up all night with Rhonda Shear type movies.
Right. Now next week we are going to do the top 10 movies that have wrestlers in them.
Right.
Now I know Kelly is not. You're not a wrestling fan as of late. You were a wrestling fan back in the '80s. Well, that's everybody. Everybody was a fan.
Right.
Everybody was a fan. So we're gonna.
Wrestling was big back then.
Well, yeah, and we're gonna do stars, and not necessarily movies that have that the main character is the wrestler, because I can't think of 10 that were
not a lot of them
that
out
were any
there.
good.
Not a lot of them out there. I want to mention 3 movie titles that when I was looking up shit for this movie that I came across. Movies that we're probably not going to do, but
well, you
the
know what?
audience themselves.
After we give these movies out, let's leave it up to the audience. See what they think.
We got Hollywood Chainsaw Hooker, which was made also in 1988. Chainsaw wielding hookers. Come on. Forbidden.
Mrs. Leatherface.
Yeah, Mrs. Leatherface. Forbidden World, which was made in '79, which, from what I read, was a blatant ripoff of the Alien movies, which was done by. Who made the Alien movies? I can't think of his name.
You're going to put me on the spot.
You can't think of it either.
No, but I know he's big time.
All right. And then Ilsa.
Well, wasn't Steven Spielberg part of that?
I think he was a producer.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott.
There you go.
All right.
Nice! Right off the cuff!
I'm pretty proud of myself.
That was awesome.
That's usually your job.
Yes, that was
my job.
That was great. I'm impressed.
Forbidden World, which 79, was pretty much a blatant ripoff of this. Mutant alien ant things that do the same shit, you know. There's a lot of mutated faces and stuff.
I can't right now. I just didn't hear a word he said because I can't believe he got Ridley Scott before I am still amazed by that.
I never had this stuff.
What's the third one? Now this is the one that I'm kind of Kelly. I'm kind of leaning towards doing this one because it sounds kind of interesting.
Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS, which is made in '75. This movie, think back to when you were a budding teen going through the change.
Mm-hmm.
You were starting to get hair in funny places.
Right.
Your voice was changing.
Right.
Started looking at girls. This is the kind of movie
I was looking at girls in kindergarten, but go ahead.
This is the kind of movie you would find on HBO late at night. It's kind of like one of those.
It's a sexploitation movie.
Yes,
it's kind of like Barbarella.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's the movies, kind of like female prison warden. Well, this movie, She-Wolf of the SS, was a series of Elsa movies. There's 3 or 4 of them in the series. And they're all just a lot of nudity and a lot of stupidity and stuff like that.
Let's just put these into
these movies are what I found when I was looking up information for Samuel Comes to Frogtown.
You know what? Actually, we're going to do this is our new segment. We're going to call these the Rat Hole movies.
The Rat Hole movies? Okay,
yes.
We're going down the rat hole with these movies. If you would like us to do any of these 3 movies, we'll give 3 movies every week that I kind of go through.
Yeah.
Because when I'm doing research on the movie we're doing, I do tend to go down the rat hole and spend 2 hours looking at other freaking movies.
Sure.
Just come up with that. But you guys, go ahead, you cast votes or something, what movie you'd like us to do.
Hollywood Chainsaw Hooker, Forbidden World, and Elsa, She-Wolf of the SS. Those are our rat holes of the week. Give us a comment. You can check us out on Twitter. You can email us. Check out our Facebook page. It's updated. It's updated every week.
And all the video
and all the videos on YouTube. And give us your votes. Give us your comments on the rat holes. And if we get enough where they want to do it, we'll do it.
We'll do one of them. All right. Well, Movie Obscura. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Adrian.
Hey, guess what?
We out?
We out. 2 weeks in a row, I got away with it.